Okay, the covers have been sanded and cut. And you can see here, this front one, I cut out this area, and there is just a little piece, just a little less than a ½ inch that goes in front of this coupler. And then in the back, you cut them completely, and there's a small piece goes in here, and a larger piece goes in here. So those are ready to glue down. I'll be careful with this one. A little tight around that coupler, but you can see it's got a piece cut out of it. So it's been sanded. We're ready to glue them in. So we'll let that sit and cure for about 12 hours or so. Or probably till tomorrow. It's kind of late in the afternoon on Sunday now. And then we put our servos in, put our control horns on, put our linkages on, and then we're going to install our cable into here where the boom connects up electrically with the rear V-tail. Coming along good. Like I say, I'm not really doing the second wing on camera. I hope I didn't get any glue inside that spar, but it'll be easy to sand out, or I have some jeweler's files that should be easy to get out. So we're going to let that sit. You'll notice over here, the other wing, I don't even have the front spar in yet. It's kind of fallen behind this wing, but again, I'm not going to do that on camera. All right, coming along well in my humble opinion. Well, it's 10 p.m. Sunday night. I'm calling it quits for the night. While I was waiting on the glue to dry on the first wing half, I caught the second wing half up to the same point. The spar caps are on. Like I say, next is the servos. I've actually marked this servo for how much of the foam needs to be cut out for the servo to work. I'm going to try to go inside of that line the first cut and see if that gives me enough, and if not, I'll come out and cut the line. Cut as little each time as possible. I haven't marked the second wing. I just got through gluing the main spar cap on this one. And let them set. This one, the spar slides easily in and out on this one. I'm not going to do that on this one because, like I say, I just glued that up. If there is any glue near the outside opening of this wing, I don't want to push it up inside of it or get it on the spar. After it dries, it comes out fairly easily. It's kind of an elastic glue. So tomorrow my wife leaves to go do a seminar in New Orleans for 5 days. She'll be back on the 6th day. I kind of need to slow down building this thing, or I'm going to have it melt before I finish out my winter season. It's Monday. Looks like everything cured up pretty good. The spars are in it. There's a nice double wing, single wing, whatever you call it. Okay, The first real bummer, but I'll get around this problem. I'll get around them all, is the servos. And it's not so much the servos themselves, it's the control horns that come with them. Here's all the control horns for the flap servo. The closest I get to what I need is this. There's only one problem. This servo rotates so far that using this, if I'm connected into here with a control rod, it rotates far enough where this sticking out starts messing with that. And on the other, the aileron servo up there, this is what comes with them, and it's exactly the same thing. A round one, 4 connection, and I think this is a 6 connection. That is it. There's not a single control arm in the bunch, nor is there just one where there's 2. And I've looked back through just miscellaneous that I've got left over from other servos. You can see right there's 2 double armed like I need on the flaps, and there's some singles in there someplace. Yeah, there's a couple right there in the corner, a very small one and a little bigger one like I need. So to solve the problem, I think I'm going to have to cut 2 arms off of this. You know, it's not that big of a problem. And I'm going to have to cut 3 arms off of this. This one especially, because this one digs down into the foam up there. And even having the other 2 on it, it would get down in the foam doing the aileron. This, after I cut 2 off, the thing is that servo goes in there not centered at 1500. It either goes in at 900 or 2000, 1900, whatever you want to call it, because when it first starts out, it has to be completely, say we're using these 2, completely to one end of the travel so the flaps are fully up. And then when it comes to 1500, the flaps are halfway down. And then when it goes to 1900, the flaps are fully down. And you can put some changes in your radio and in the setup of R-Deucer. You can get 3 positions fully up, about 1/3, and then full. 20% flaps is generally what we use on landings, unless you really have a short field. You usually don't use flaps on takeoff that much. Sometimes you do put another 20% in. Anyway, that's my experience with 150s and 172s. Sometimes you put flaps in on takeoff. I prefer not to, but you almost always use them, at least 20% on landings. Just slow yourself down. So that's not an extreme bummer. Got my push rod ends, my ball joint type push rod ends, M2 threading in the end here. Got a bunch of them ready. Got 6 of the M2 threaded rods still, but I'll be cutting these in different lengths, especially back here for the flaps, and it's not a full length up there, so I think I've got fully enough to do both wings and both V-tails.
I'm going to break this video here as I'm trying to keep them at 10 minutes. Thank you guys.